When will Iran again try to murder me? That's what parents and children across Israel have been asking for days. Iran has showered Israel's people with ballistic missiles, twice, back in April and a month ago on October 1st. Last week, one of the Iraq-based Shia groups told a Hezbollah-linked newspaper his organization was coordinating with Iran to attack Israel. Yesterday, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, said Iran's enemies, including Israel and the US, will definitely receive a teeth-breaking response. Today, Arab media are reporting Iranian forces are positioned to strike Israel. Can you imagine? How many ballistic missile attacks have you survived? Those of you who haven't faced them may not realize why ballistic missiles are such a big deal. Israel has, after all, already been under rocket attack for 20 years, right? But ballistic missiles are a whole other story. They not only have massive explosive warheads, which can unleash massive destruction, but they also fly up into space and then crash down onto our homes. All that happens in around 8 minutes. That makes it really hard to intercept them and protect our people, especially when hundreds are fired at once. Israel is in grim competition with Ukraine for which country has been attacked by more ballistic missiles. And at this rate, Israel is probably winning, unfortunately. That's in addition to over 20,000 Iranian rockets, missiles, and drones fired by Hezbollah from Lebanon, Iran's terror pirates in Yemen, the Houthis, as well as Shia groups in Syria and Iraq, and of course, Hamas's October 7th massacre launched from the Gaza Strip. Israel's people are fighting for our lives on 7 fronts. The US said it was preparing for Iran's attack on either its troops or Israel by moving bombers, fighter jets, and ships into the area, and will be standing by to assist Israel in its defense. The US also warned Iran from attacking American troops in the region. If it were you waiting for missiles aimed at your home to be fired, what would you expect your country to do to protect you? Let me know in the comments below. You have to understand the geopolitics in the region. Russia and Iran are working side by side to target Ukraine, to target Israel, and to target America. So there is cooperation between Russia and Iran, and this is the bigger picture that you must understand in what is happening in the region here and how this will affect everyone around the world if the region is not stabilized. Israel has taken out Hezbollah's commanders and demolished their terror tunnels and literal tons of weapons meant for murdering people in Israel. Last week, Israel's jets bombed Hezbollah's Radwan death squads and their weapons warehouses in Syria. Why is that important? Many Hezbollah terrorists already fled southern Lebanon, many of those to neighboring Syria. Hezbollah running away is good, but Israel wants to ensure that Hezbollah isn't just waiting for quiet so they can recover, rearm, and again attack Israel's people next month or next year. For decades, Hezbollah weapons pipelines ran through Syria, run by the Iran-backed Assad dictatorship, and just a few hours' drive from southern Lebanon. Iran would fly cargo planes full of Hezbollah's arms right into Syria's international airports. That's why even UN Security Council resolutions like 1701 called for Lebanon to secure its borders to prevent the entry of arms and requests UNIFIL to assist. Of course, UNIFIL didn't stop Hezbollah from bringing weapons right up to Israel's border, much less prevent Hezbollah from bringing Iranian arms into Lebanon from Syria. UN Secretary General Kofi Annan even said at the time that UNIFIL didn't have to because Lebanon didn't ask it to. The UN obviously failed. But whatever happens next, it's not enough for Hezbollah to leave Israel's border today if they can return tomorrow. And it's not enough for Hezbollah to disarm today if they can rearm tomorrow. Any future peace needs it to be safe for 60,000 people to go back to their homes in northern Israel without again having Hezbollah's Iranian fire rained down on them. All right, we're ready again for questions. Let's have them coming.
Thank you, Ashley. I just read that Russian planes landed in Iran. Why do you think this is happening?
Yes, I will answer this again. So Russia supplies Iran with arms, including advanced air defense systems, S-300, that Israel actually just took out in its attack. And Iran supplies Russia with the same drones that Russia uses against the Ukrainians. So once again, just to reiterate, there is a much bigger geopolitical picture that one must understand in Israel's fight, which involves Russia, the US, the Gulf states. And so it is crucial that peace and calm come to our region so that peace and calm can come to the world.
Thank you, Ashley. I saw that Israel's Naval Commandos took a Lebanese ship's captain from his home. Was he a civilian? What do you know about this?
So he was certainly not a civilian. Arabic media reported that the officer, his name is Imad Fadel Amkhaz, is a senior member of Hezbollah, according to Al Hadat, considered by the IDF to be a significant source of knowledge in the terror group's naval force. Lebanese surveillance video circulating online shows that he was taken into custody unharmed. He is certainly a terrorist, not a civilian.
Thank you, Ashley. A lot of people are asking on our live about the security situation in Israel. Just yesterday, Saturday, there were 130 rockets, 10 drones fired at Israel. What is your assessment of what life is like currently for Israelis and the threat that they're facing already after more than a year of war?
Life is unbearable. There are days where we feel in certain parts of the country that life has almost gone back to normal, but there are large amounts of places in the country where life is certainly not back to normal. There was no school. As we know, people are still evacuated from their homes. People are still dealing with the trauma of October 7th, and every day we are dealing with more and more trauma of having more and more soldiers' lives lost in combat, and civilians' lives lost and injuries from rocket attack. Life is unbearable. The situation is hurting our economy, but it's important for everyone watching right now to know that it is not hurting our morale here in the country. We are proud, we are strong, and we are ready to fight and to defend our country and our borders against any attack and any threat. So we are prepared, we are dealing with the trauma, and we are hoping for a better future and for all of this to end as soon as possible, because it is important to reiterate, we do not want war with anyone. We didn't start this war. We did not start the war against Hezbollah. They started it on October 8th with sending rockets at us one day after our people were brutally massacred in the south of Israel.
This is a question from our Instagram Live. Is the recent threat from Iran a serious one, or might it be a bluff?
Well, time will tell, but I don't think we can ever underestimate the motivation of our enemies to attack us. Unfortunately, we were under that conception against Hamas for many, many years where we thought they were deterred and we thought that they didn't have the motivation. And unfortunately, the second we took our eyes against away from our enemies, we saw what happened. And I think Iran has proven to us over the past year, not only through its proxy war, but for the first time ever attacking Israel from Iranian soil, that their threats are real and serious. They have, a clock in the middle of Tehran counting down until the end of Israel for the destruction of Israel. And they were always hoping that it would be, I think, in 20 or 30 or 40 years from now. I think every day that passes, we understand that they want this to happen sooner than later, and we should take their threats very seriously.
This is our final question today. You were traveling a lot recently. Where did you go and who did you meet?
So thanks for noticing that I was gone. I was in the United States. I needed some much needed time away from social media and content creating and from the war. So we went on a family vacation. I went to the United States, and I do want to share something with you that I bring back to Israel from traveling to Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma. The people of America understand the fight we are fighting. And they are rooting for us, and they are behind us, and they support us. And the amount of love and support and affection that I felt from the everyday person in the United States who prays for all the hostages to come home, and told me also specifically for my cousin Agam, who is a hostage, to come home unharmed, was really, really heartwarming and a very pleasant surprise after being on this side of the world here in Israel and only seeing on social media protests and anti-Israel and people, saying things without understanding the region. I realized that what we see online is not what the everyday American actually thinks or feels. So thank you very much. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, we will be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Israel time. Stay safe.